Every night your body is presented with an opportunity, a window, where it can either fall into decline or rise into regeneration. For seniors especially, this time is not just about rest. It's about repair, and what many people don't realize is that the loss of muscle with age, what we often attribute to just getting older, is not an inevitable decline. It's a biological process that can be slowed, halted, and even reversed if you understand how the body communicates at night. Muscle tissue is highly responsive to your brain's internal cues. At night, those cues are driven by a precise dance of hormones, neural signals, and nutrient availability. When you sleep, your brain isn't shutting down, it's orchestrating a series of physiological processes that are critical for muscle repair. One of the most powerful of these is the release of growth hormone, which peaks during deep, slow-wave sleep. This hormone isn't just for teenagers, it's essential for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and metabolic health in older adults. But here's the catch. If you're not sleeping deeply, or if your nighttime environment is working against your biology, you're robbing your body of the very tools it needs to rebuild. So the first step is protecting your sleep. That means dimming the lights 90 minutes before bed. It means reducing screen exposure, especially blue light, which disrupts melatonin production. Melatonin doesn't just make you feel sleepy, it primes your entire system for the release of other hormones that cue muscle growth and tissue regeneration. One of the best things seniors can do is create an evening ritual. Turn off overhead lights, sip a calming herbal tea like chamomile or lemon balm, and allow your nervous system to shift into a parasympathetic state. This is the mode your body needs to be in to begin the healing process. Now let's talk fuel. Muscles don't grow from sleep alone. They grow when the right building blocks are present in your bloodstream as you sleep. This is why a slow-digesting protein, such as micellar casein, or a collagen blend with added leucine, becomes a nighttime powerhouse. It feeds your muscles gradually through the night, especially during that deep sleep window when your body is most anabolic. Leucine is a key trigger for muscle protein synthesis. It's the ignition switch. Without it, your body might not activate the full repair response. Consuming 20 to 30 grams of protein about 30 minutes before bed, as long as it doesn't interfere with your digestion or sleep onset, can dramatically reduce overnight muscle breakdown. But there's something else, something subtle yet powerful. The brain responds to signals from movement. When you perform a few minutes of light resistance exercises in the early evening, simple movements like air squats, wall push-ups, or band pulls, you're not just activating muscles, you're sending a message to your brain. These tissues are in use. They're necessary. Don't discard them. That message is interpreted during sleep, influencing what the brain prioritizes during recovery. This is why even light evening activity can have a massive impact on preserving lean tissue in seniors. And finally, there's the power of the mind. Mental rehearsal, or the practice of vividly visualizing movement, has been shown in neuroscience studies to activate the same neural pathways as physical exercise. Seniors who spend 5 minutes visualizing a workout before bed, feeling the tension in the muscles, seeing themselves lift, push, stretch, are enhancing the strength of their neuromuscular connection. This practice can even lead to measurable strength gains, especially when paired with real-world movement. So every night you have a choice. You can passively let your body wind down, or you can consciously prime it for growth. Your muscles are listening to your actions, to your nutrients, and to your mind. Train your evenings like you train your body, and in doing so, you'll rewrite what aging looks and feels like from the inside out. Every evening, your body enters a biological window that holds immense potential, not just for rest, but for powerful regeneration. For seniors, this nighttime window is critical. It's the difference between continued muscle loss and the ability to maintain, even rebuild, muscle well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. What most people don't realize is that muscle maintenance isn't just about lifting weights or eating more protein during the day. It's deeply tied to how your brain and body communicate at night. This communication, through hormones, electrical signals, and cellular processes, is the foundation of muscular preservation, and it's something you can influence every single night. As we age, our body begins to produce less growth hormone, and that directly impacts how much muscle we can maintain. However, that process is not fixed. It's influenced by your behavior. The largest pulse of growth hormone in any 24-hour period occurs during deep sleep, specifically during slow wave sleep in the first half of the night. If that sleep is disrupted, shallow, or cut short, that hormone release is weakened, and so is your body's ability to repair and rebuild muscle. This is why improving the quality of your sleep is one of the most effective strategies to combat age muscle loss. To optimize that window, you must think like your biology. It starts with light, how much you're exposed to, and when. Light is the strongest cue to your brain's circadian clock, which regulates everything from sleep cycles to hormone release. When you reduce exposure to bright and blue spectrum light 60 to 90 minutes before bed, you allow melatonin production to rise. Melatonin is not just a sleep hormone. It plays a role in coordinating cellular repair and signaling the body to begin the regenerative process. Using warm lighting, dimming screens, or even wearing blue light blocking glasses can all shift your biology toward better nighttime recovery. Beyond light, temperature, and sound matter, sleeping in a cool, dark, and quiet room helps maintain deeper, uninterrupted sleep. This environment tells your brain it's safe, it's calm, and it's time to prioritize healing. A consistent bedtime is equally crucial. When you go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day, your body anticipates the recovery cycle. This predictability enhances everything from hormone release to protein synthesis. But what you eat before bed also plays a critical role. Many seniors are protein deficient without even knowing it, and the time when you consume that protein matters. Taking in 20 to 30 grams of a slow digesting protein like casein or leucine-rich collagen protein right before bed gives your body the fuel it needs to rebuild during the night. Casein releases amino acids slowly over several hours, supporting muscle protein synthesis during the exact time when your brain is directing the body to rebuild tissue. Leucine in particular acts as a molecular switch, signaling your body to initiate repair. Without adequate leucine, even with enough sleep and exercise, your muscles may not get the signal to grow. Just as your nutrition and sleep matter, so does your movement, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime. A few minutes of light resistance training in the early evening, such as squats, band exercises, or even stretching with controlled resistance, can create a powerful signal in your neuromuscular system. That signal travels through the nervous system and tells the brain, these muscles are active, keep them, strengthen them. This neural feedback loop doesn't shut off when you go to sleep. It continues to influence what the brain prioritizes during recovery. In this way, nighttime becomes more than just rest. It becomes a continuation of training. This connection between movement, sleep, and neural signaling is one of the most overlooked strategies for seniors to stop and even reverse muscle loss. When paired with proper evening nutrition and a brain-friendly sleep environment, these small nightly actions transform into a powerful protocol. Your muscles aren't just passively aging, they're actively responding to the cues you send them. With the right steps, every night becomes a training ground for strength, vitality, and resilience. Each evening, your body steps into a silent process of transformation. For seniors, this transformation is not automatic, it must be actively supported. Muscle loss with age is real, but it's not a sentence. It's a signal. A signal that your body needs more care, smarter timing, and daily decisions that cue your biology to rebuild. not deteriorate. Nighttime is when this process is most powerful. Your brain is hardwired to use the hours of deep sleep to repair muscles, strengthen tissue, and regulate the hormones that decide whether you gain strength or lose it. This is why what you do in the 2 hours before sleep determines how well your body holds on to muscle. The first key is sleep quality, not just time in bed, but how deeply and consistently you sleep. Deep sleep, especially in the first few hours of the night, is when your pituitary gland releases the majority of your growth hormone. This hormone is the spark that initiates muscle repair. If your sleep is fragmented, or if you delay bedtime until late hours when melatonin is suppressed by artificial light, you interrupt this cycle. To reverse this, develop a pattern that primes your nervous system for rest. Start by dimming your lights after sunset. Use only warm, low-intensity lighting. Avoid screen exposure, TVs, phones, tablets, after 8 p.m., or wear blue light blockers if needed. These small changes send powerful cues to your brain. The day is done, recovery mode begins. Sleep-friendly nutrition also matters. Many older adults unknowingly eat too little protein throughout the day and almost none at night. But nighttime is the prime window for muscle repair, and the brain can only build if it has the raw materials available in your bloodstream while you sleep. This is where slow-digesting proteins come in. Consuming 20-30 grams of micellar casein protein before bed has been shown to significantly increase overnight muscle protein synthesis. It digests slowly, keeping amino acids available for 6-8 hours, right when your body needs them. Add leucine, an essential amino acid that acts as a muscle growth trigger, and you amplify the effect. Think of it like giving your body tools and instructions. Without them, it can't build anything. But here's something most people overlook: physical signals that tell the brain this muscle is still needed. Muscles you don't use are considered expendable by your body, and the aging nervous system becomes less efficient at maintaining muscle unless it's reminded daily. This doesn't mean heavy workouts. For seniors, even 5 to 10 minutes of light resistance movements in the evening is enough. Body weight squats, wall push-ups, resistance band pulls. These movements activate your neuromuscular system just enough to tell the brain, we use this tissue. Don't break it down tonight. When paired with protein and good sleep, this light activity becomes a signal amplifier. Even the mind can influence muscle maintenance. Neuroscience has shown that mentally rehearsing physical movements activates the same motor pathways as real exercise. If you close your eyes before bed and vividly visualize lifting a weight, squatting slowly or stretching under control, your brain lights up those circuits. This maintains the connection between your nervous system and your muscle fibers. That connection is often lost with age, but it can be preserved and even strengthened through this technique. You're literally training your brain to keep the muscle memory alive. Every action in your evening routine is either reinforcing strength or signaling decay. There's no neutral ground. From the light you expose yourself to the nutrients you take in, to the gentle movement you engage in, all of it sends information to your brain. That information decides whether muscle is preserved or lost. You don't need hours in the gym. You don't need extreme diets. You need consistency, science-based habits, and the understanding that your nights are as powerful as your days. When you respect the night, your body begins to rebuild, quietly, steadily, and with remarkable precision. Every night your body enters a biologically sacred time, a window where healing, restoration, and strength are possible. For seniors, this period holds the secret to stopping and even reversing age muscle loss. The decline in muscle mass, often thought of as inevitable, is not a simple consequence of aging. It's often the result of missed signals between the brain, muscles, and hormones during sleep. When we understand how these signals work, we can intervene and change the trajectory of our physical strength, even in our later decades. The process begins not with exercise, but with preparation. preparing the brain to shift from daytime alertness to nighttime repair. That shift is governed by circadian rhythms, your body's 24-hour internal clock, and how well you align your behaviors with it has a massive impact on muscle preservation. The first thing to consider is how deeply and efficiently you sleep. It's not just about hours spent in bed. It's about achieving the deep, restorative stages of sleep when growth hormone is released. This hormone plays a critical role in tissue regeneration and muscle maintenance. But for this to happen, your environment must support it. Start by reducing light exposure 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Bright lights, particularly from screens, suppress melatonin, a hormone that not only helps you fall asleep, but sets off a chain reaction of nighttime recovery processes, transitioning to low light using warm-colored bulbs and eliminating unnecessary noise helps signal to your brain that it's time to begin recovery. Creating this environment consistently allows your brain to establish a nightly pattern, enhancing both sleep quality and the body's ability to rebuild. Once your environment is optimized, your evening nutrition becomes the next major signal for muscle maintenance. Your body needs raw materials to rebuild muscle, especially proteins rich in essential amino acids. One of the most powerful nighttime strategies for seniors is to consume a slow-digesting protein like casein about 30 minutes before bed. Casein provides a steady release of amino acids throughout the night, feeding your muscles at the exact time your brain is directing repair. Adding leucine, either through the protein source or as a standalone supplement, boosts the body's ability to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Leucine is like a light switch. It tells your muscles to grow, even when you're not moving. And since seniors often absorb and utilize protein less efficiently, timing and quality become even more critical. But nutrients alone are not enough. Your brain needs movement signals to prioritize muscle during sleep. This is where light evening activity becomes a powerful tool. A brief 5 to 10 minute routine of low-impact resistance exercises in the early evening can be enough to tell your nervous system these muscles are still important. Simple moves like standing leg lifts, wall sits, chair squats, or resistance band pulls engage muscle fibers and activate the neuromuscular junctions, those communication points between nerves and muscles. When you activate these junctions, even lightly, it tells the brain to protect that tissue during sleep. Without this stimulation, unused muscles are more likely to be broken down overnight as the body reallocates resources elsewhere. There's another level to this, an inner level, where thought and intention play a surprising role in preserving strength. Visualization isn't just imagination, it's a form of neural training. When you mentally rehearse a movement, like lifting your arms with resistance or holding a squat, you fire the same neural pathways as when you actually perform the movement. For seniors, especially those with mobility challenges, this kind of mental practice can help reinforce the connection between brain and muscle. Practicing just 5 minutes of intentional movement, visualization before bed can enhance neural drive and preserve the coordination necessary for strength and stability. These small actions compound over time. Night after night, these habits send consistent messages to your biology, messages that prioritize strength, regeneration, and resilience. Your body responds not to age, but to input. The routines you adopt in the hours before bed, the way you eat, move, relax, and think, tell your brain what kind of body it needs to maintain. The key is consistency, not intensity. You don't have to overhaul your life. You just have to align your nights with what your biology already wants to do, protect you. When you get this right, age stops being a limitation. Instead, it becomes a new chapter of strength, built not in the gym, but in the quiet, intentional hours before you sleep. Every evening, your body gives you a chance to fight back against the most common and most misunderstood effect of aging, muscle loss. Most people think muscle loss happens slowly over time due to age. but in reality it's largely the result of missed biological cues, missed opportunities where your brain could have sent the message to rebuild, but instead allowed muscle tissue to slip away. The truth is, muscle is not lost because you're aging. It's lost because your nervous system is no longer receiving the correct information. And one of the most powerful windows to send those messages is the period right before and during sleep. Every night your brain enters a mode of recalibration, repair, and regeneration. If you understand how to prepare your body and mind for that process, you can not only halt muscle loss, but actually begin to regain strength even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. The first and most critical factor is sleep depth and quality. Deep sleep, known as slow wave sleep, is where the body performs its most aggressive repair work. During this phase, the pituitary gland releases growth hormone in its highest pulses. Growth hormone is a signal, one that tells your tissues, bones, and muscles to regenerate. But if you're staying up late, staring at screens, or exposing yourself to bright lights at night, your body may struggle to enter that deep sleep state. The solution is rooted in behavior. Dim your lights 60 to 90 minutes before bed, reduce screen exposure, and wind down in a calm, low stimulation environment. When your brain senses darkness and quiet, it responds by increasing melatonin and transitioning into deep sleep, activating the muscle-building machinery that works while you rest. The second key is nutrition. Even with great sleep, your body can't repair muscles without the raw materials it needs to do the work. This is where most seniors fall short. Protein intake throughout the day is important, but the most powerful time to consume protein is actually right before bed. A slow-digesting protein such as casein or a high-quality collagen blend enriched with leucine delivers a steady stream of amino acids while you sleep. This ensures that while your body is secreting growth hormone, it also has the tools to rebuild muscle tissue. Leucine in particular acts as a powerful trigger for muscle protein synthesis. It turns on the repair process at a cellular level. Consuming 25 to 30 grams of slow-release protein with added leucine at night gives your muscles the fuel they need during their prime rebuilding hours. Third, your body responds to what you do, not just what you eat or how you sleep. The nervous system is constantly scanning for movement. When it detects activity in a muscle group, it interprets that muscle as necessary for survival. When it doesn't, it downregulates that tissue to conserve energy. For seniors, light movement before bed sends a neurological signal to preserve muscle. You don't need a workout, just 5 to 10 minutes of resistance-based movement like squats, wall push-ups, leg raises, or gentle band pulls. These exercises lightly activate key muscle groups, telling the brain, we're still using this tissue. That message is remembered during sleep, and your body is more likely to maintain or rebuild those fibers overnight. Fourth, don't underestimate the power of your mind in this process. Visualization is a proven method to reinforce the brain-muscle connection. When you imagine yourself performing resistance movements, lifting, holding, stretching, you activate the same neural circuits as if you were physically doing them. This primes the motor cortex and strengthens the neuromuscular communication loop. For seniors who may have limited mobility, mental rehearsal before bed is a powerful tool. 5 minutes of vivid mental imagery where you feel the movement, the effort, the control can sharpen the signals between your brain and muscles, preserving strength and coordination without even moving a muscle. Lastly, the way you think about your body before sleep matters. Stress, worry, or frustration about aging can elevate cortisol, a hormone that directly interferes with muscle repair. Practicing calm, positive self-talk, deep breathing, or even brief meditation before sleep shifts your nervous system into a parasympathetic state. This state, often called rest and digest, is essential for full physical recovery. A calm brain invites a responsive body. A stressed brain shuts down repair processes. So take a few minutes each night to mentally release the day. Focus on gratitude for what your body can still do and allow that mindset to guide your biology toward healing. Night after night, these 5 practices create a pattern. That pattern becomes a signal. That signal becomes a new reality. Muscle loss is not your fate. It's a decision your body makes based on what you consistently tell it. And now you know how to send the right message.